Are you looking to play retro games, but you're looking for something a little bit more premium and something that will last a while longer because they're made out of posh materials? Well, today we're looking at the Anbernic RG405M, and it's made of some very premium materials. If you're interested in winning any of these devices shown on the channel, subscribe down below because every video I pick a user to win one of the handhelds that I've reviewed. Go ahead, it's free. Now let's dive into the incredibly premium RG405M. This device is very interesting because the case it's in is completely metal. Ooh. In addition to your regular buttons, here's what's on the device. So we have A, B, X, Y buttons that have a plastic membrane like a Game Boy and are a little bit squishy. We have sticks that are sunken in and have clicks. Those are clicky. There are start, select, and a home and back button, which are clicky and not squishy. The trigger buttons are not stacked, but they're side to side, and the one button is a little bit larger than the second, and the second kind of trails along the side of the device that has the ability to be pressed on the side as well. They're not very large, but they do the trick in this really small form factor. And you have a D-pad too. In addition, there's also some very silky smooth rubber on the back of the device to make it a little more, grippy in case you're, pulling it out of your pocket or doing something like that where you'd actually need some extra texture on the back. Now that we know how this device looks and feels, what's the software look like? This device is running Android, and you're going to be able to do all of those Android-based things that you'd normally do on your Android phone. So all of the Android backend emulators, in addition to all of the other Android games that you can load onto here. And just like all the other Android games and streaming services, you can play plenty of emulators on this. So starting with the first generation of the 8 and 16-bit eras, which is comprised of the first, second, third, and fourth generations, all the way up to 2004. Everything and the 8 and 16-bit back plays just fine on this device. If you're looking for content that is 4:3 ratioed, it'll play really well on this device. Moving over to the first 3D generation and comprised of the Sony PlayStation and the N64, this era plays very well as well. Moving on to the next generation, which is the 6th, and I think that's kind of where this device caps out. This really caps out at the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube. A lot of these devices play well, in addition to the PSP, and the Nintendo DS plays pretty well on this device, with the touchscreen too, so that actually helps for the Nintendo DS. But that's kind of where this one caps out for power. You may have some issues with certain titles, but that's kind of emulation in a nutshell. If you fiddle around with a lot of the settings, you can get pretty much everything to work for these systems. It has a lot of good software built in to get all of these emulators running, and it comes preloaded with that. And this is Ambernic's front end that they have added to the device, which I think looks very slick. It's got all of the systems listed, and you're easily able to scroll through and pick which one you want. And this was able to work directly out of the box, so you didn't have to set up controls or do anything, but it did notice it came with different language ROMs, so you may have to swap those out for the language that you need. You are able to do Moonlight and game streaming on this device, but with this ratio of screen, I don't know if that's really what you're going to be doing on this, even though it does play pretty well. I think one of my favorite things to play on this device is Game Boy Advance games, in addition to Nintendo DS games. With the size and ratio of screen that we have, it's better suited for more of those 4:3 aspect ratio type of games. It's just a hair off the top and bottom, so when you full screen stuff, it actually looks pretty good. So those type of systems, that's where I recommend placing this device, in a very premium feeling 4:3 and a little bit wide, if you can handle it, gaming device. What are the things that I like about this device? Well, I think the materials, the aluminum that this game console is made out of, and the soft touch rubber that they have on the back, along with the buttons and joysticks, feel incredibly premium. This is one of the small form factor Android handhelds that I think that will hold up to the test of time. It looks like it's very durable and feels very durable. So, what don't I like about this? Well, it's not nearly as cheap as the other devices in this type of category. At $200, you can get a lot of other things, but you can't get a lot of other things that have a premium feel like this. So you're mainly paying for stuff like the aluminum, the nice housing, and the nice screen coatings and all the other stuff that they put into this device, in addition to having Android versus Linux. I think this console is well worth around the $200 price point. Check in the link in the description below to check out the Amazon store that sent this to me for the review. There's also plenty of other handhelds on the market right now, so you should check out one of those videos, because we also do giveaways of all the stuff on the channel here. So take a look, see what you like, and maybe look at one of these videos. They're free, and clicking that subscribe button is as well. So if you want to win one of these, check out that button. It's big, cylindrical, and full of power. Goodbye.